This is my 24-day trip through the Balkans, starting in Ljubljana, Slovenia, going through Croatia, Montenegro, Albania, North Macedonia, Bulgaria, and Romania. Hello, Slovenia. I have landed in Ljubljana, Slovenia, and that's my hotel, the Hotel Katrica.
Hi!
You see, sweetheart, this is what happens when you don't come with me on the trip. Zagreb, here we come. Hello, Croatia. Glavni Koridor, train station, Zagreb. The good news is my hostel is located in the center of Zagreb. The bad news is it's 10 minutes to noon and it opens at 3 o'clock. Hostel Centaur.
Aqui é a plaza principal.
One of the many squares. relief here. Well, I have arrived at Hostel Center. It opened its doors at 3 o'clock. I was here about 3:10. And this is one of the smaller rooms I've ever been in, but the location is fantastic. It's really well situated. Take a look at my room. Well, there is my bed, and the room is about 14 feet wide and maybe about 10 feet in length, and it does have a low ceiling on this side. I'm not sure, but I think I agree. That looks good. Hey, that beer is cheaper than a bottle of Coca-Cola. You gotta love a country where the beer is as cheap as Coca-Cola. What's not to enjoy? Here we go, look at this. Truly, truly delicious. Terrific. Definitely best pancake ever. Fruits of the woods and chocolate sauce.
To Zagreb, welcome to Croatia, welcome to the Communism and Croatian Homeland War. The name of your not so polite guide is Ivan. IVANA, the most common female name in Croatia, so whatever you need, whatever you want to ask, if you're not feeling well, there are some comments you want to add, Ivana is here for you. So you probably know some info about Croatia. You know it's a small country, population is 3.8 million. Today we like to say that Croatia is a Western-oriented country. What we mean under that is that we are a member of the European Union, member of NATO, member of Schengen zone, member of Eurozone. There is no worse combination in the world than Hitler and chaos. And that's exactly what happened to this country. He attacked in the early spring of 1941, he occupied the area, and he did big chaos. And that's a reason why some really ugly things happened on territory of this city and this country during Second World War. What you'd notice is that this here is a pretty big hole in the land. Something used to be here and it's not anymore. And that something is actually Zagreb Synagogue, the Jewish temple of Zagreb. So that fascist leader, the kind eyes, Ante Pavelic, well, he realized he needs a place to hide civilians, so he invested some money and he built these right here. They were built from 1941 to 1942. And they were used during Second World War, and then again during Croatian Homeland War in the early 1990s, from 1991 to 1995. You need to know there was only one allowed political party in communist Yugoslavia. The name won't surprise you at all. That was, of course, the Communist Party of Yugoslavia. And the leader of the Communist Party is automatically the leader of the whole country. The leader of the Communist Party is that guy called Tito, and Tito is just right here. This photo is here to remind you that he was also leader of the partisan movement as well, and he fought during the Second World War. Tito's official title is quite an interesting thing. Officially speaking, he was lifelong president. At this moment, he's already in his 60s, he isn't so handsome and young anymore. Next photo, Tito and JFK. So Tito is in charge of Yugoslavia for 35 years. He met a bunch of US presidents. On this photo right here, Tito in the company of Richard Nixon. On occasion, people spent 6 days locked in these tunnels during the Second World War. There is important info. There were no toilets inside the Second World War. You can imagine the smell, especially if you know the capacity of these tunnels is for 1,000 people. Serbian people are still the biggest national group of people living in the country. Belgrade is still the capital and the biggest and the most developed city, so Serbian opinion matters a lot. Serbian politicians, they agree the change was needed. Second mistake Tito did was that he never left a successor, and that meant a political crisis and some fights about who is going to be in charge of this country. So here's a map you saw a million times on our tour today, but for the first time here are names and flags of the 7 new states which were formed after the collapse. Next to each name there is a year. The year represents the year when each one of these countries claimed their independence.
Šta kaže, jel znate sve podatke protiv koga se borite i sve to?
Znam, samo malo pucanje, što više.
Ne znate ko puca?
Pucanje, tertiraci,
A znate li zbog čega se vodi ova rat, ova bitka?
Oni kao hoće da se osjetljuju, a mi kao ne da. Mi samo hoćemo se vratiti. Prosto ne ništa više.
Šta vi mislite, šta dalje, kako dalje, borite se?
Šta ima, mislim, samo živ ostan. Znaš, cele bio su ulici, znaš, šta ti kaže, radiš. A nijedan oficir nije poginuo, sve moje rane poginuo, nijedan. Svijem.
Koliko je drugo poginulo, znaš, danas?
Danas trojica.
Jedan oficir.
Jedan oficir. A ne, šta ne znam, nije glavno, znači, nemaš pojma. Nalazi koji je dan, koji je koliko vam, dobro, ja ništa ne znam. Ulica živa, nikao žvrn, gdje da puca, nema niko, nije neko, sam žrtvo nešto, ne može nikako. Da, ne znam, stvarno, samo živo ostane, to mi pogledati, ništa više. Samo živo ostane, majke.
Koliko imaš godina?
19.
Kako se zoveš?
Da, vidim. Staro je samo staro za krajem, da sam živ i zdrav, ako bude da se vrati. Ništa više. Samo to.
Želim vam mnogo sreće.
Okay, hello there. What a day. Saturday. I'm on my trip from Zagreb to Split and headed towards Split. Then made the big mistake where I saw the people getting off the bus, so I was getting off the bus, but only half the people were getting off the bus in a place called Trogadar, whatever. It's a small town about 20 miles or 30 miles away from Split. And I got off, tried to find my way around to my address. When I showed the information to a cab driver, he didn't know where it was because it wasn't even the right town. I finally managed to find the bus station again. Of course, my bus had gone. So went to the booth, and there was a bus, a milk run bus, in 10 minutes going from there to Split for €2, so that was fantastic. Thought I was lost. I asked the lady where this address was, and she said, "You're right here." And what number? I said 14. It was the landlady. There's my bed. You see one chocolate on the pillow because I ate the other one already. This is a more panoramic view of the room, even with a fridge there. Well, this day certainly has had its ups and downs, but I've just had my first shower in the Balkans, eating my second piece of chocolate. and I'm reviving. Looking forward to what's next. Feeling somewhat revived, all right? Continuing my research on Croat beer, that cost $6.38. I have arrived in Split, Croatia. Where did I park my yacht? There it is, my first videoed meal in Croatia, and it happens to be Thai. But anyway, Croatian beer.
Diocletian's palace of the Roman Emperor Diocletian. Here were the emperor's chambers, where he lived with his family, Diocletian with his family, surrounded by the nearby gardens. So this area right here, well, this area was a sacred area. Actually lie with the full body on the ground, face towards the earth. One in the middle made of like granite with the human hands at the ends. Just one circle, not two. Here what is interesting, that inside of this dark passageway, which once served and was for the Roman soldiers, it is nothing to say that he was a stubborn guy. He continued the Thracian church in the 10th century. On his foot, and before that you make your wish, like in the end of this will be closed.
There we go, rub the toe.
Our tour to last. Select the language in which you would like to listen to your tour.
Okay, boys, good Croatian beer and a kebab in pita bread. There she blows. Well, it's Monday, my last full day in Split, and it's a beautiful day to go snorkeling.
Yeah, I got 2 on the Air Force Academy. What does that mean?
Maybe not. No, yeah.
That was a workout.
There you go. You're gonna be on YouTube.
Yay!
Well, that was an interesting expedition. Had a little swim in the Adriatic and didn't do any snorkeling, but had fun, and it filled up the day and met some interesting people from England and from Minnesota, and 3 girls from Trent University, second-year students. Okay, pretty interesting. Well, a definition of happiness. A definition of happiness is a completed trip and a donor. Delicious. Carlovasco beer. Good. Well, I have found my little apartment studio apartment in Dubrovnik. It's tiny, but it's adequate.
Okay.
Dobry den.
Dobar dan. Jeste dobro. Hvala.
And I'm right down there. And 20 meters away, you can see the wall.
Example before the last scene, and we go over regions. Like for example this one. Now if you look the picture,
The Hilton Imperial, where I'm not staying. The walled city of Dubrovnik.
No.
What you see there is a cevapi, a big one. Okay, I don't know what's supposed to happen when you rub his nose, but it's a well-rubbed nose. Okay guys, it's Forest Feast Gelato and Berry Cherry Raspberry.
Have a look, see what you think.
Driver Vladimir and myself. My name is That you rest well, that you prepare yourself for the ask for the passport.
Hello, Montenegro.
More or less we are all here, as you could see. Bring my raincoat with me. People off the boat. There it is, the island renamed Hawaii. Budva's old town.
But I need to disappoint it. It is not an island, it's beautiful.
The main gate. There's my Bucanero in Budva. Boys, chavapis and a lot of other good stuff. Hello, Albania. I have arrived in Tirana, Albania.
considered by many popes equal, the king of Albania and emperor. He never took off his title.
Good picture.
Beautiful kids.
Yeah, they are beautiful kids.
Albanians, they are descendants of Illyrians.
Believe it or not, George W. Bush Street in Tirana, Albania. The pyramid. You can see what a very nice room I've got in the center of the city. Hello, Macedonia. I'm often giving a definition of happiness. Well, today's Sunday, I'll give another definition of happiness. Happiness is a smooth exit from the capital city of Tirana. Had no problems on the 3-hour trip to Lake Ohrid. And happiness is wandering into a hostel and finding they can refer me over to a guy who's just starting a new hotel, and I'm in his modern building on the top floor, and I might be the first person who's ever in this room. Not a bad bed. Not a bad room. Always the pièce de résistance. And this is the main street of the Lake Ohrid town, and that road leads directly to the beach. When you're settling down for your first big meal in Macedonia, it has to be something special, and it is pork loin. I have arrived in Lake Ohrid town.
Koliko su se koristili nakon da se porušilo opet negdje ide, tako da svaki kamen
Eles
That, my friends, is an old Yugo. Okay, would you like to see what my lunch is? Fruit gelato.
Po smrti, umjer je 910.
Ali pogledaj koga kaže slike.
Evo tamo.
Çektin mi?
You can talk on this.
Oh, yes.
Hey, say something Aussie.
Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Oi, oi, oi.
Good day, mate.
This is my dream vehicle. I just got to bump off 2 Aussies. Okay, thank you very much.
I found this nice shaded place to rest. I hope it doesn't cost money. I've got 2 hours more to kill before the boat leaves. It came back. Well, after...
Oh, nou wel. In het centrum nog even een flinke hoosbui.
De gids van Twi, allee, die dingen van Twi zegt dat er...
wintersportgebieden hier.
Het is gebouwd door de herdenking naar die dode partizanen. heen, zo dikke muren.
Bread, making bread. Earthquake region collects maize.
Doedelzakken, trommeltjes. Hij maakt ze verzamelen voor winter, wat is over, naar die markt gebracht. Puśćcie da mucho na trova, druga na zelena.
Salute.
Na zdrowie.
Na zdrowie.
Na zdrowie. Raki.
Vos en martertje. En ik heb deze klem gemaakt.
Dobre.
Maar ziet er nu hier opgegaan boven kijken. Die schaapherders, schaapherders, altijd in de bergen. Met koude water.
Sloegefietje.
Kan ook sliver.
I understand sliver, but
it's just for cold water.
Ja, wat voor is die?
What's this?
Deze bescherming, meestal staat op die nek bij jullie vrouwen dat beter luisteren naar ons.
But it's for the women, for better listening.
Altijd die wolf eerst gaan naar die hond doodbijten, dan makkelijker die schapen pakken. Met deze bescherming geen kans.
They put it on the dogs, and the wolves.
But they can't bite them around the neck.
En pakken bij die potjes zo.
Yeah.
En
For the
trekken
sheep.
naar hen toe. Daarvoor.
Sheep?
Yeah,
They hook the sheep.
yeah, they hook the sheep for milking.
Oh yeah, they got it.
Ze zijn niet binnen, ze zijn achter een boom gestaan.
There's your outside toilet. There's a fox that did. Well, the old winemaker is finally drinking something else than beer. Good wine, good Macedonian wine. And here's one of the women from this country. Well, I had a late, delicious lunch, had a nice tour with a lot of friendly Dutch people, and now this is going to be my dinner. Well, I have no spoon, but this seems to work fairly well. Well, here I am at the Hotel Ambassador for a couple of days in Skopje. And I was checking out the neighborhood, and it was raining. And when it's a rainy day in Skopje, you don't need a beer. What you need is Alexandria, a semi-dry white wine from the famous winery Tikvis. Now, this might be an inappropriate way of drinking wine, but let's give it a shot. That's a nice white wine. Hotel Ambassador in Skopje. And what you're hearing are the bells of the Church of St. Clement. Skopje, Macedonia. also new traffic. Looking back down the river where I walked. Inside the city center mall, or Zero Center. Modern mall. And modern supermarket. Guess where all the old London buses went? Women's Warrior Park. Eagle Tower. I'm having a terrific day touring on my own. I got my bus ticket to the next place, Sofia. And here's how I reward myself in the old bazaar. Multi-fruit gelato. Government building, their parliament. There it is, my smoked chicken pancakes, along with a good Macedonian tikvis wine waiting over here. Hello, Bulgaria. The trip from Skopje, North Macedonia, to Sofia, Bulgaria, smooth as anything. About 6 people on a big bus, going from 8:30 to arriving in Sofia 1:30, and smooth again. used the ATM, got some Bulgarian lev, changed my Macedonian dinars into Bulgarian lev, and then got a taxi cab to what I assumed was my adobe house in the middle of the city. Well, somehow I had screwed up. Instead of being in the middle of the city, it's on the outskirts of the city. So the trip was much, much longer than I expected. And it was about 20 Bulgarian lev, but that's about 14 bucks. But the cabs are fairly cheap here, and it was 14 bucks because it was such a distance. And I find out, what am I going to do on the outskirts of the city? Well, I bumped into a Norwegian guy here, and we've had a big chat. We've drank some beer, and we're having a great time. And in 1 hour, he's ordering a pizza. We're going to have a pizza. So it's just another experience. The first thing I did when I got here was, how do I get the hell out of here? Anyway, it's an interesting experience, and I'm taking it rather well. All right? I should show you the bottle of beer I got. So you recognize what's on the right, the Sprite, but on the left is the beer. And it tastes quite good, and it's 2.3 liters, and it's probably under $2 Canadian. Fantastic. So here are my humble surroundings at Abel's guest house. Abel's guest house on the outskirts of Sofia, Bulgaria. There's my room, and there's the backyard. Look at that, huh? We're gonna have a party out there, right there. That's Bjorn, my Norwegian buddy. There you go. Look at those muscles. This guy's really fit. Anyway, despite drinking all this beer, and look at the size of that pizza. Good morning. It's Saturday in Sofia, Bulgaria, and I just discovered something ironic in my little room. What was it? What is it? Live, laugh, love. Where have I heard that before? Here I am in the center of Sofia, Bulgaria, early Saturday morning. St. Nevsky Cathedral. Taxi cab driver tells me that's the Parliament building. And that's the monument of the Tsar Liberator. National Library. Many monuments. One of the more interesting statues.
Devi imparare in inglese poi tutte queste robe, devo ripeterle in inglese.
Archaeological digging. Lion Bridge. Romania. Yeah, here's my fancy $50 a night apartment. Compulsory TV. Looking out over Bucharest. This is the street I live on, Smarden. And this is the locked gate I have to go through. That worked. It's a street of restaurants. Monster buildings all around. We are in Bucharest, Romania. The center of Bucharest. I'm going to treat myself and have a lunch on my last full day in Romania. And what is it going to be? It's going to be a crepe filled with bacon, pickles, mushrooms, and there's some other goodies. Watch this. There is my crepe. And what shall I quaff the crepe down with? Well, you'll better believe it. Sprite. You see, honey, what happens when you don't come with me on my trips? Now, you could say, you can tell her if I've been a good boy or not.
Yes, he's a very good husband, I think.
Go ahead.
I'm the new friend of your husband, and your husband is an extraordinary man. And very, very friendly.
Maybe too friendly.
Maybe too friendly.
Boarded the subway and metro and went to a park. This is the park. Yep, it's a park. This is the lake in the park. I find that building particularly interesting. It looks like exactly like Moscow University. And here's the elevator in my building. Very interesting. Yeah. It's not that pretty, but it gets me to the 6th floor. There I am, number 79. Oops.
Operation failed.
Okay, let's try again. Well, there you go. The Last Supper. Are you ready for the beer tour of the Balkans? You gotta love a country where the beer is as cheap as Coca-Cola. When you're in Slovenia and have a real thirst on that can only be quenched by a good cold beer, and unfortunately a good cold Slovenian beer isn't within reach, you can always have a Heineken from Netherlands. There's one good way to cool off. Try a Union beer, half liter. It'll hit the spot. When you've traveled to Montenegro and sweated in the heat and walked a long distance, the way to quench your thirst is to grab a genuine Montenegrin beer. Have a lab. In our series, Around the World with Beer, when in Tirana, quench your thirst with Elbar beer. Well, after a long boat trip, what you really need is a nice cold Macedonian beer. Skopsko. Okay, folks, when you have a real big thirst in Bulgaria, this 2.3 liter bottle of Pirinsko beer should quench it. Everything comes with commercials. When you've got a thirst on in Bucharest, try Timisoara beer. Terrific.
Salute.
Na zdrowie.
Na zdrowie.
Na zdrowie. Raki.